Welcome, Forex trader, to this video analysis which reviews the long-term effect of the FOMC statement of last week on the US dollar. And we'll do that on the euro, the pound, the dollar yen, and the AUD USD as always. But first, please be aware that this video is intended for a global audience and may not be suitable for everyone. Please take a look at the link and select your country of residence and contact the appropriate entity for more information on that. Also, trading for exchange is considered high risk and may not be suitable for all traders. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is not advice and is for informational and educational purposes only, and by watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer. Let us start with the euro-dollar daily chart, and this big bullish candle on Wednesday happened, of course, during the FOMC. It was a very big upside candle, 60 pips to the upside. That marks, of course, a lot of momentum and, in my opinion, the potential for a zigzag to the upside. You can see that after the FOMC we had a retracement day, testing the low of that Wednesday, but then finding support off that particular level for the upside. So, in my opinion, it looks like actually the euro dollar has reached a pausing spot of that downtrend. I wouldn't say in the long term this downtrend is over, because if you look at the monthly chart, you can see that this is actually breaking in a very impulsive manner to the downside, and I don't think this is necessarily the end. We can see still a very bearish monthly candle, and we see actually 1 month after another being bearish. So obviously a very bearish impulse on the weekly chart too. And the only difference is that on the weekly chart we do see a candle that is engulfing the week before, plus ending pretty bullish. One of the biggest bullish candles actually on the euro dollar since all the way back here, basically a year ago. So long term, I don't expect the euro dollar to be, the downtrend to be over. I expect more downside actually. I expect, if I put a fib from here to here, the euro dollar to go down to roughly parity is my projection for this year, and perhaps lower the year after. But in the short term, when looking at, for instance, the weekly chart, I can see a pretty strong reaction to this 105 level after that FOMC. So a zigzag correction, for instance, to the 23.6 at 112 or the 38.2 fib at 117 seems likely to me at the moment. All right, and if I put a fib on that bullish weekly candle, I see a minus 272 target at 112 and a minus 1000 target, also nicely giving confluence at those retracement fibs. So that's what I would be expecting at the moment, kind of a zigzag correction maybe for the next 1, 2, 3 weeks perhaps, up to one of these fibs, the 23.6 here or the 38.2, after which a downside continuation could occur at that point. It depends. We'll have to see how the weekly candles behave in the next few weeks. Alright, before we take a look at the next currency pairs, please be aware of this special deposit bonus. I think you will find that interesting, so take a look at the conditions and details to find out more. Also, the webinars this week, we got a great lineup with the weekly FX recap. Today on Monday, and then tomorrow live trading lab, and on Wednesday strategy in the mornings, and then Wednesday evening expert opinion on Murray math, and then Thursday the strong versus weak analysis, the relative strength basically. Take a look at this webinar for some grand information there on that. Next on our menu here is the pound dollar, and that too has a very bullish outside candle here on that FOMC date, and a retracement on Thursday and a Friday, again a bullish candle. So what does that mean? From a weekly perspective, here too we have an outside bullish candle basically engulfing the bearish candle before that. So that could definitely mark a potential bounce signal, in my opinion. That seems the most probable. We had a very nice downtrend also on the pound dollar, but such a price action signal is warning me that downside might be very tough at the moment, and upside seems, despite the downtrend, seems more likely at the moment. So if we put a fib from here to here, an upside target, in my opinion, upon maybe a retracement of this weekly candle down to the 61.8 fib, could be, for instance, the 155, which is the minus 61.8, but also a previous top right in here. Alright, moving on to the AUD versus the USD, and here to a similar pattern, and we're going to see that on probably all dollar pairs, in fact, kind of that similar structure in a way, that the dollar is an uptrend but facing resistance, in this case of course facing support on the AUD USD, and giving a signal that we might be running out of steam on this downside. In the daily chart, you can see that pretty clear. But a level like this, for instance, could still be very important, in my opinion. Pretty close at the moment. Price has rallied up right into this level already, 78.50, 79. What I preferably what I'd like to see is actually a break, pull back, and continue here on this odd USD to trade it roughly up to this 82.50 level here, which is a resistance on this daily chart. Last but not least, the dollar yen. Dollar yen also had a pretty strong downside day, but not as strong actually, as the reaction was less strong on the dollar yen than on the pound and the euro dollar. So we had about a 220, 210 pip fall, whereas the pound rose 550, I think, and the euro dollar 470, as we said. So, it's definitely a bit of a difference here. It's more of a triangle formation. The price is pretty close to the bottom. I do think that there's a potential, at least, for price to retrace part of this upside as a completion, perhaps down to this 38.2 fib again, or maybe the 50 or the 23.6. But at the moment, though, as long as price stays in this triangle, it could stay for quite a while. And basically, if it does still break out, of course, it would be still a bullish breakout that might be interesting for this dollar yen. I'm not expecting a lot of price action for this week on this dollar yen, and keeping an eye on these two trend lines. Thanks for joining this video analysis. Hope to see you in one or more of these webinars in the upcoming week, and wish you all happy hunting. Cheers.